Right now, as you're watching this video, your heart is beating. Blood is leaving the right side of your heart, traveling to your lungs, picking up oxygen, coming back to the left side of your heart, and then getting pumped to every organ, every muscle, every cell in your body. That process is called pulmonary circulation. And here's a question for you. Who figured that out? Most people say William Harvey, and they're not completely wrong. But they are missing 300 years of history, because a Muslim doctor figured this out first, and almost nobody knows his name. Today, that changes. Let's talk about Ibn al-Nafis. Ibn al-Nafis was born around the year 1213 in Damascus, which is in modern-day Syria. He studied medicine in Cairo at the Al-Nouri Hospital, one of the most advanced medical institutions in the world at that time. By his 30s, he was already one of the most respected physicians in the Islamic world. He was sharp, he was curious, and, this is key, he wasn't afraid to challenge ideas that everyone else accepted without question. He wrote dozens of books on medicine, philosophy, and theology. But his most important work was a book called Commentary on Anatomy in Avicenna's Canon. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, was another famous Muslim physician, and his canon of medicine was like the medical Bible of the medieval world. Ibn al-Nafis read it. He studied it. And then he said, respectfully but clearly, some of this is wrong. To understand what Ibn al-Nafis discovered, you need to understand what people believed before him. For over 1,000 years, the dominant medical authority was Galen, a Greek physician from the 2nd century. Galen believed that blood was produced in the liver, sent to the heart, and passed directly through tiny pores in the septum. That's the thick wall separating the right and left sides of the heart, to get to the other side. For 1,000 years, nobody questioned this. Galen was treated like he was untouchable. Ibn al-Nafis questioned it. He studied the anatomy of the heart carefully, and concluded that the septum had no such pores. There was no passage for blood to squeeze through. So how did blood get from the right side of the heart to the left side? His answer: it doesn't go through the wall. It goes around it, through the lungs. He described in clear and detailed language how blood exits the right side of the heart, travels to the lungs through the pulmonary artery, gets refined, meaning purified and mixed with air, and then travels back to the left side of the heart through the pulmonary vein, where it gets pumped out to the rest of the body. That is pulmonary circulation. That is exactly correct. And he wrote all of this down in the 13th century. Here's where the story gets frustrating. Ibn al-Nafis died in 1288. He left behind a body of work that should have changed the course of medical history immediately. But it didn't, at least not in Europe. Why? Because his work was written in Arabic. And in medieval Europe, the language of science was Latin. Most European scholars couldn't read Arabic, and most of his manuscripts weren't translated for centuries. Meanwhile, medical schools in Europe kept teaching Galen. Students kept learning about those imaginary pores in the heart wall. And nobody in the Western world knew that a Muslim doctor had already corrected the mistake. It wasn't until 1924, 600 years after Ibn al-Nafis died, that an Egyptian physician named Muyo al-Din al-Tawai discovered a manuscript by Ibn al-Nafis in the Prussian State Library in Berlin. When scholars read it, they were stunned. The description of pulmonary circulation was clear, detailed, and scientifically accurate, written 300 years before Harvey. Historians revised the record. Ibn al-Nafis is now recognized as the discoverer of pulmonary circulation. But how many people actually know that? How many school textbooks mention his name? Not enough. Ibn al-Nafis wasn't a one-off. He wasn't a lucky accident. He was a product of a civilization that prioritized knowledge as an act of faith. The Islamic Golden Age lasted from roughly 750 AD to 1258 AD. During that time, Muslim scholars weren't just translating ancient Greek texts. They were building on them, challenging them, and going far beyond them. Al-Khwarizmi gave the world algebra. That's not an exaggeration. The word algebra comes from his book title, Al-Kitab al-Muqtasar fi Hizb al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. Without him, modern mathematics, engineering, and computing wouldn't exist as we know them. Ibn al-Haytham, also known as Al-Hazan, developed the scientific method. He was the first person in history to say that to understand the natural world, you need to test your ideas through observation and experiment, not just think about them. That's the foundation of all modern science. Al-Biruni calculated the radius of the Earth in the 11th century. His answer was off by less than 1% compared to modern measurements. In the 11th century, and Ibn al-Nafis figured out how your heart and lungs work together. This didn't come from nowhere. It came from a faith tradition that said seeking knowledge is an obligation, that the Quran commands believers to observe, reflect, and understand the world God created. That learning is worship. If you're a non-Muslim watching this video, maybe you're curious about Islam, or maybe someone sent you this, I want you to sit with this for a moment. The Islam you may have seen on the news is not the Islam that produced Ibn al-Nafis. It's not the Islam that built the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, where scholars from different cultures worked side by side to advance human knowledge. It's not the Islam that the Quran describes, a faith that begins with a command to read, to learn, to think. If you're a new Muslim, this is your heritage. These scholars, Ibn al-Nafis, al-Khwarizmi, Ibn al-Haytham, they were shaped by the same faith you have entered. Their curiosity was an expression of their belief. Their discoveries were a form of gratitude to God. And if you've been Muslim your whole life, this is a reminder. Islam has always had a relationship with knowledge, not in spite of faith, but because of it. Ibn al-Nafis looked at a human heart, one of the most complex and perfectly designed organs in the human body, and he figured out something that the rest of the world wouldn't understand for 300 more years. That wasn't just genius. That was the result of a civilization built on learning. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, share it. Someone in your life needs to see this. And if you want to keep learning about Islam, its history, its science, its truth, subscribe to Path to Islam. New videos every week. Real knowledge. Real faith. No filters. I'll see you in the next one.